Thanks for joining us here on News at 10. I'm Brendan Lipol. Malacca was chosen to be the first location outside the federal capital as the venue for the Economic Action Council EAC. The EAC meeting held earlier this morning was chaired by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin.
Also present at the meeting was Senior Minister for International Trade and Industry Datuk Sri Azmin Ali, Minister at the Prime Minister's Department of Economy Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, and Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz. The purpose of EAC is to identify current economic issues and set up actions to ensure the sustainability of the economy and bolstering the impact of the volatility of the global economy. After chairing the meeting, Tan Sri Muhyiddin took time off to mingle with visitors and traders of Pahlawan Walk in Bandar Hilir, Malacca. Pahlawan Walk is popular among local and foreign visitors for traditional Malacca handicraft, souvenirs and food. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, who was accompanied by Malacca Chief Minister Datuk Sri Sulaiman Mat Ali, was seen purchasing dodol from a stall and had lunch with asam pedas, a renowned Malacca dish. The Prime Minister also visited Bazaar Rakyat, an Infineon factory in Batu Berendam before heading back to Kuala Lumpur. This is Tan Sri Muhyiddin's first visit to Malacca after becoming Prime Minister on the 1st of March.
Semiconductor giant Infineon Technologies from Germany has pledged to invest 3.25 billion ringgit in the country over a span of 10 years until 2029. In a statement issued after his visit to Infineon's plant in Batu Berendam, Malacca today, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the multi-billion ringgit investment marks another milestone in the long-standing and multifaceted partnership between Malaysia and Germany. He said this also reflects the confidence among global investors in the stability and attractiveness of Malaysia as an investment destination in the Southeast Asian region. Through this multi-billion ringgit investment, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said Infineon has indeed paved the way to expedite the semiconductor sector to move up the value chain towards higher margin processes such as the packaged integrated circuit. According to the statement, the manufacturing sector continues to be the key driver of the supply side of the Malaysian economy, with a combined share of 22.3% last year. The Prime Minister also stressed the firm and serious commitment of the government to further create a healthy investment climate in the country. He added that the government will also continue with its efforts to make Malaysia the most attractive investment destination in Southeast Asia and constantly encourage existing investors to reinvest in the country. The government is currently planning to standardize tax charges and regulations for Airbnb soon. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Economics, Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, said the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, MOTAC, the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, KPKT, and the Malacca government are currently discussing this to solve the hospitality industry turmoil in Malacca.
He explained that a large excess of inns and lodgings in Malacca has caused the gradual crippling of the hospitality industry in Malacca, simultaneously impacting the income of the tourism sector of the state. Datuk Sri Mustafa added that a committee under the Chief Secretary to the government is expected to help solve these issues faced by hotel operators who are currently in the recovery phase after the Movement Control Order MCO.
Jadi sudah pasti kita dalam bisnes ni kita ada konsep level playing field, maknanya adil lah berlaku adil pada semua. Jadi kalau satu komponen itu dikenakan dengan pelbagai peraturan, satu lagi tak tertakluk pada sebarang peraturan, sudah pasti ini tidak adil. Jadi dalam konteks itu dan dalam konteks untuk memulihkan sektor ini, jika apa-apa yang dapat dibantu oleh KSN, kita akan sampaikan kepada KSN supaya masalah ini yang sudah pun dimulakan perbincangan dan mungkin hampir nak selesai dah. Mungkin KSN boleh membantu untuk menyegerakan keputusan yang perlu dibuat dalam tempoh terdekat.
He said this after a discussion and state government engagement session in Bandar Hilir. The move is also in line with the government's efforts to help revive the tourism sector, restoring the country's economy. Also present were Malacca Chief Minister Datuk Sri Sulaiman Mat Ali, State Tourism Heritage and Culture Exco Datuk Muhammad Jailani Khamis, and State Secretary Datuk Sri Hasim Hassan.
The Administrative Enhanced Movement Control Order (EMCO) enforced in 2 of the 3 zones in Aman Jaya, Kedah, namely Kenanga and Mawa, has ended at the stroke of midnight today. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the EMCO for the Melo zone, however, has been extended to 27 September.
The senior minister in a statement said the decision to end the EMCO was reached after a second screening exercise done on the 9th of September showed no more COVID-19 positive cases in Kenanga and only 1 case in Mawa, who has since been placed in a quarantine centre. He said the EMCO had to be extended in the Melo zone after 12 positive cases were detected in the second screening. The administrative EMCO in Melo involves 609 households with an estimated population of 2,529 people. He urged those affected by the order to continue adhering with directives of the Health Ministry and the police. The 2-week administrative EMCO had first been enforced in the 3 zones in Aman Jaya on the 28th of August.
Meanwhile, Kedah Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi Madnor urged affected residents to take a lesson out of the situation in the Melo zone in Aman Jaya, Sungai Petani, in which the Administrative Enforced Movement Control Order (EMCO) that was supposed to end last midnight was extended to 27th of September.
Failure to comply with standard operating procedures, SOPs and regulations led to 40 new COVID-19 cases recorded in the second screening in the area yesterday. Muhammad Sanusi also called upon the 360,000 residents in the area to continue following the SOPs in order to avoid any more extensions of the EMCO.
Saya menyeru kita terus patuh kepada SOP yang ditetapkan untuk kita putuskan rantaian COVID-19 kerana kluster sungai dan kluster telaga yang terbabit di Kota Setar ini mudah tersebar. 54% kes positif adalah bergejala, bermaksud mereka mengalami batuk, demam, bersin. Jadi oleh kerana sebaran itu melalui droplet, melalui batuk ni, maka orang yang bergejala lebih mudah untuk menjadi penyebar kepada COVID-19.
Pub and nightclub activities continue to be the most common offence in violation of Recovery Movement Control Order (RMCO) protocol. A staggering 608 out of the 763 individuals arrested yesterday was due to the said offence.
According to a statement by Senior Minister for Security Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, other offences were 6 cases of not preparing entry-exit locks at premises, 63 cases of participating in mass activities without practicing proper physical distancing, 22 cases of not wearing face masks, 27 cases of participating in private parties, and 1 case of a premise operating past regulated business hours. Other offences include 1 case of a premise operating without a licence, 10 cases of participating in rooster fight gambling, 12 cases of suspected gambling activity, 12 cases of flouting EMCO and other activities, 1 case. Meanwhile, 71 illegal immigrants, 3 skippers and a smuggler were apprehended through Op Benteng. In another related development, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said a total of 28,508 individuals have returned to Malaysia via international borders as of the 24th of July. They were reported to have returned from 32 countries including the Philippines, Indonesia, India and the United States. All of them were placed in 73 hotels and 8 other premises including public training institutes and private educational institutions nationwide. From the total, 10,359 are currently undergoing mandatory 14-day quarantine and 69 others were sent to hospitals for treatment. Meanwhile, the 18,080 individuals were discharged and allowed to go home.
Now, for the COVID-19 updates, the Health Ministry today reported 31 new cases, 3 of them import cases who contracted the virus while overseas. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah in a statement informed that the locally transmitted cases involve 19 Malaysians and 9 foreigners.
23 of the local cases were identified in Sabah, 4 in Negeri Sembilan involving the Bunga cluster, and 1 case in the Sungai cluster, Kedah. 17 of the cases in Sabah originated from the Benteng cluster in Lahad Datu. As for the import cases, all of them were from Indonesia, 2 of them Malaysians in Sabah and 1 Indonesian in Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, 11 cases are currently being treated in intensive care units ICU, with 5 of them requiring respiratory aids. No new deaths were recorded today, and the death toll remains at 128 or 92.53% of total cases.
Government firm in safeguarding sovereign rights in South China Sea. That and more. But first, PAS will activate its machinery to help candidates of Perikatan Nasional, PN and PAS allies contesting in the 16th Sabah state election. Party Deputy President Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man said he does not see any problem for the party in being left out of the Sabah state election this round, despite being part of the ruling political power now.
Saya bagi pihak PAS lah, saya menyerahkan ini kepada kebijaksanaan di strategi oleh kerana penamaan calon dah pun dibuat dan masing-masing parti sebenarnya ada pertemuan setiap hari untuk menyelesaikan isu-isu berbangkit dan saya yakin mereka boleh selesaikan insyaAllah.
Met by reporters after a special meeting of his ministry and the Home Ministry in Putrajaya today, Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim said the PAS machinery will be deployed in 20 divisions in Sabah, involving about 2,000 members in the state and reinforcements from the peninsula. He also indicated that the PAS machinery will not be distracted from campaigning for PN, even if the component members were contesting against each other in some seats.
Uncertain weather patterns in Putatan lately did not stop BN candidate in Tanjung Keramat, Shahilmi Yahya, in his bid to win the hearts of the voters in the constituency. During his walkabout in the constituency today, Shahilmi admitted that he is also utilizing social media platforms like Facebook, Zoom and Twitter to reach out to voters, especially in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ya, kita sedang explore possibility untuk berkempen melalui digital seperti aplikasi Zoom meeting ataupun Facebook face call. Tetapi mungkin menggunakan aplikasi digital ini lebih tertumpu kepada golongan muda kerana golongan muda adalah golongan yang peka terhadap penggunaan teknologi maklumat. Dan ini mungkin bersesuaian dengan komposisi pengundi muda yang besar di DUN Tanjung Keramat. So, nanti kita akan lakukannya.
Shahilmi faces challenge from 4 other candidates from USNO, Warisan, LDP and PCS in a 5-cornered fight for the Tanjung Keramat state seat.
The government will be setting up a new special task force to prevent environmental crimes. The unit operating under the Environment and Water Ministry is expected to be fully operational in early October.
Its Minister Datuk Seri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man also said that the task force will also be collaborating with several other agencies. This includes the Department of Environment, the Water Services Commission SPAN, the Biosafety Department and the Royal Malaysia Police PDRM.
Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air amat memandang serius berhubung kejadian pencemaran yang semakin berluasa di Malaysia dan isu ini perlu ditangani secara holistik dan proaktif. Insiden terkini di Sungai Gong, Selangor baru-baru ini telah memberikan impak yang besar kepada kelestarian alam sekitar, ekonomi negara serta menjejaskan kesihatan dan kesejahteraan rakyat.
He also said the task force is necessary due to the many pollution cases, including sabotage of the country's water reserves. Therefore, the unit will be more focused toward the prevention of crimes related to environmental pollution.
The government safeguards the nation's sovereignty, territorial integrity and national interests, including over areas in the South China Sea, by ensuring that patrol and activities are conducted by the related enforcement agencies. However, during the Dewan Negara sitting today, Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Kamaruddin Jaafar said at the same time, the government adopts a cautious approach to avoid any action which may lead to rising tension and unwanted incidents in the country's waters.
Semasa mesyuarat Menteri-Menteri luar ASEAN bersama rakan-rakan dialog pada minggu lepas 9 hingga 12 September 2020 yang lalu, Yang Berhormat Menteri Luar Negeri telah menegaskan sekali lagi pendirian Malaysia berhubung Laut Cina Selatan, yang mana isu ini perlu diselesaikan secara damai menerusi pendekatan diplomatik selaras dengan prinsip undang-undang antarabangsa.
Datuk Kamaruddin said the presence of large number of warships in a specific maritime areas such as in the South China Sea has the potential to cause rising tensions and pose a threat to national security and stability. However, he said Malaysia would ensure that a code of conduct to manage the South China Sea to be finalized between ASEAN and China would be adhered to so that the country's sovereign rights is maintained.
We begin with local sports. Bomba fighters showed their mettle to beat Putrajaya Saibok 21-13, 21-15 to win in the final and emerge as Division 1 champions of the 2020 Sepak Takraw League STL at the Titi Wangsa Stadium in Kuala Lumpur recently. The win saw Bomba fighters take home 12,000 ringgit in cash and the championship trophy, while Putrajaya Saibok pocketed 10,000 ringgit as runners-up.
Not only will Bomba fighters and Putrajaya Saibok, by virtue of finishing as champions and runners-up respectively, be competing in the Premier Division next season, they also confirmed their places in the Champions Cup to be held at Iskandar, Malaysia in Johor from the 23rd to the 29th of November. The prizes were given away by Melaka Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Tun Muhammad Ali Rustam. Also present was Malaysian Sepak Takraw Association PSM President Datuk Seri Ahmad Ismail. Masum UPM Knights, meanwhile, had to fight back from one set down to overcome Melaka Titans 17-21, 21-14, 21-14 to finish third and bag 7,000 ringgit. The Titans took home 5,000 ringgit. 8 teams, Terengganu Turtles, Masum UPM Knights, Putrajaya Saibok, Bomba Fighters, Perlis Vipers, Melaka Titans, PSM Mavericks and Kedah Eagles took part in Division 1, which began on the 8th of September under strict standard operating procedures due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
That's it from us this evening. In our top story, Malaysia pledges to further create attractive investment destination. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Till then, I'm Brenda Lepal. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.